y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I know that this video is super late. August has been a pretty busy month for me, so I'm gonna show you guys what was in my August TBR and what books I've already read and what my thoughts were on it. So I'm gonna start off with what was on my TBR for August, which was The Paris Daughter by Kristen Harmel, Summer of Roses by Luann Rice, Feels Like Falling by Christy Woodson Harvey, With Every Memory by Janine Rauch, He Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox, 40 Words for Love by Asia Saeed, When the Heart Cries by Cindy Woodson, Locust Lane by Stephen Amdon, Remember Me by Tracy Peterson, Born in Shame by Nora Roberts, Road of Stars and Flame by Bonnie Callahan, The Seekers by Wanda E. Brunstetter, The Blessing by Wanda E. Brunstetter. Sorry about that. The Celebration by Wanda E. Brunstetter. That Summer by Sarah Dessen. And Assault and Beatery by Molly Cox Bryan. Okay, those are all the books that are on my TBR for August. Now I'm going to tell you guys what books I've read already and what my thoughts were on them. So I'm going to get my pile here ready again. I don't have a lot of books left on my to-read pile for August, so most of these that I'm going to be mentioning I've already read. So the first one I read was The Paris Daughter by Kristen Harmel. I absolutely love this one. I rated it 5 stars on Goodreads. It was just a very emotional, grabbing book. Heart-tugging. I'm not really going to tell you a lot that happened in the book because there's like 2 twists that I wasn't expecting. And it's very spoilery, so if you're to read this, I definitely recommend reading it very soon. It is just a phenomenal historical fiction novel. And I hope to read more of Kristen's books in the future. Next one I read was Summer of Roses by Luann Rice. I read a couple of her other books before. Her other books were okay for me, but this one I really loved. It was about a wedding during the summer in Nova Scotia, so it was just about a family planning that, and there was other stuff going on. But I rated this 5 stars. I really loved it. And yeah, that's my thoughts on that one. Next one I read was Feels Like Falling by Christy Woodson Harvey. This was my very first time reading a Christy Woodson Harvey novel, so I wasn't sure what to expect, but I really loved it. I loved that it was very beach ready, like very beachy with like the ocean and the sand in that. But yeah, I really liked it, and it was set in North Carolina. Since I have family in North Carolina, I always try to read those books. It makes me feel close to them since I haven't been able to visit them in a few years, and I talk to them every now and then, but our lives get really busy, so we can't talk as often as we probably would like. But I really love this one. I rated it 5 stars, so if you get a chance to read this, or if you've already read this, let me know in the comments, and I loved it. Next one I read, which really grabbed me in the heart, and I cried a few times while reading this, was With Every Memory by Janine Rauch. I won this one through Bookish First from Revel. I thought that the story sounded really interesting, so I wanted to enter the raffle to win it, and I'm so glad I won it. It's basically about a family that was in a tragic accident a year ago, and the teenage son was killed. There was a twin of the sister in the book, and the mother, she suffered a traumatic brain injury, and she's trying to remember the last 5 years of her life before the accident happened. And she starts to remember what kind of person her husband was and all this other stuff, even though he tries to tell her that he didn't do any of that stuff. So it basically tells that. It's very interesting, very grabbing, very, very emotional. So if you're going to read this one, please have your tissues by. Next one I read was You Should Have Told the Bees by Amanda Cox. I won this one on Library Thing. I really loved it. It really resonated with me. The main character lost her father, so she's trying to deal with that grief. But the twist that happened that I have not been through was that this daughter learned that her father had another child that she didn't know about, and he left the farm to his daughter and to the daughter he didn't know about. So they're trying to work that out. Thankfully they had a happy ending at the end, but overall I loved this one. I rated it 5 stars. If you get a chance to read it, please do. This doesn't come out till August 29th, so the release date is coming up in 2 weeks actually. So I hope you'll read this and like it. I will post about the release date on my Facebook pages and on Instagram. Next one I read that's not released till August 22nd, and I won it on Bookish First, is 40 Words for Love by Asia Seed. This was the very first one I